Hello out there in Bassline. It's Jeff from Jeffrey-Thomas.com, and I'm going to go ahead and preview up my bass tab for Message in a Bottle by the Police. So make sure that you are requesting that from my website, and we can go ahead and be on the same page together. So right off the bat, we're into the verse. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's break that down. Verse is going to go 7 times, 2 measure phrase. Coming in on the and a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Make sure you're watching those ties. He's on the offbeat more than he's on the beat. So 7 times through on that verse. Then when you're through the 7 times, you're going to pick up on the last measure of the top line. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then you just chill for that half note, and then you're into the chorus. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 2 times through on that chorus because of the double bar double dot. Repeat brackets, and then that brings you to the third line. And on the third line we got an ending 1, 2, and 3. So let me walk you through that slow. 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3 and 4, and ending 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and come back to the beginning of the third line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and ending 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and back to the beginning of the third line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and ending 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. Okay, so on ending 3, you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you're sliding back. You're running out the clock on beat 4 just to get to this 4th fret here on the 3rd string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. So it's not a real fast slide, right? So you just want to kind of milk it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, and land right there on that 4. That brings us to the 4th line. And on the 4th line, we have an endings 1, 2, and 3 as well. So here we go with those 3 endings. 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple lead 3, 4, and let me explain that quarter note triplet here. Right here. Boom. So you see the 3 5s in a row with a 3 above them. That is not a finger marking. That is to tell you that that's a quarter note triplet. Now, without going into a giant chalkboard quantum physics explanation of quarter note triplets, which we could, but I won't. It's basically 3 quarter notes in the space of 2. I've found that the best way to count it is to not put any numbers on it and just go like this. Triplet, triplet, triplet. So count out triplet, those 3 syllables. And if you wanted to kind of get an idea of like, well, how the heck do we do that? First, your first quarter note is going to be on the beat. So triplet. So the pull and the let are before and after the 2nd beat. There is a way to absolutely mathematically explain this, but if you're curious, which you should be about this, I have a really good lesson on triplets and tuplets that explains how you get quarter note triplets. So I'll leave it for you to go and find that lesson if you're interested in that. Anyway, running again from the beginning of the 4th line, slow, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple lead 3, 4, and come back around and get ending 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple lead, 3, 4, and. Okay, then we're back to the beginning of the fourth line, taking ending 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple lead, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that brings us to the fifth line. We've tied that whole note over to another whole note, beginning of the fifth line. And then when the next verse starts, he's out. The bass is out. So you can see that I wrote 3 times verse, nothing. You got a whole rest right there. So you're, woke up this morning, don't believe what I saw. Right, no bass. Okay, you're out. On the original recording anyway, on the studio recording. And then after you clock those 3 times, you're just going to be listening to the verse to see when you come back in again. After the 3 rests, you're going to come back in with the same line that you started with. So, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 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 and 1. Okay. And then 5 times on that. Once again, on these repeats, a lot of times my students are getting confused, like, how do I keep track of the 5 times or the 7 times or whatever? That's really going to be you just knowing where you are in the song, following the vocals. And when you hit a certain part of the vocal, you know that you're going to switch. That's the way I do it, and a lot of players that I have worked with do it. So anyway, you're through the 5 times there at the end of line 5, which is basically just repeating the verse groove. And then we pick up on the 6th line. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then we have a DS al coda. So this means that you are going to go from the end of the second measure on the 6th line all the way back up to the chorus. You're going to play the chorus with all the repeats. And by the way, DS al coda is standard another day at the office there for repeats. So DS al coda is Dal Segno. Al coda means go Italian. Go to the sign, which is this S looking thing at the chorus. That's the sign. That's the Dal Segno or Sueno, or I'm not sure if I'm saying it right in Italiano. But anyway, you're going to come back to the chorus. And that's what DS al coda means. You're going to find that sign and you're going to play right from there. All the content with repeats. And then if you look at the 3rd line, you're going to take ending 1, 2, and 3. At the end of the ending 3 on the 3rd line, that's the coda. This dude right here, that's the coda sign. The little crosshair looking thing. So that means when you hit the coda, wherever that may be after the sign, you're going to pick up and go to the next coda sign, which is right there. So it's like the translation for DS al coda means go to the sign, play from there, find the coda, and then when you finish that coda, when you hit the end of where that coda is, then you go to the next coda and pick up playing from there, which at this point in the song is the last 2 measures on the page. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple lead, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and triple, right? 6 times on that. So really, everything that's on page 1 for this song is repeated over on page 2. And there's no additional playing licks or anything that he does necessarily. It's just a matter of repeating out the structure, and they kind of play with the structure, so you got to watch the repeats. That's all I'm saying. And I've got that notated on page 2, so you're welcome to have that. Just go ahead and request it from my website. And hopefully that was a good walkthrough on a classic Police tune with great bass playing, reggae, ska, punk at its finest. And hopefully that gets you started. And as usual, I will catch up with you on next lesson.